Once a Polly-Tito. You may think that doesn't sound quite right, but believe me, once a Polly-Tito it is. And in this case it was Goldilopers. Goldilopers trickly how in the early mordy, and she follolloped down the steps. Oh, unfortunate for cracking of the eggers and the sheeps and the buttery, full follollop, and graze the knee clappers. So she had a vasalubrious, rub it on, and a quick heely huff, and that was that. So off she went, and she would trickly how down the garbage path, and at the left right-hand side goal she passed a poop on. It was loads of humus heapy in the garbage, but never mind, she lost her whale. Now this is a sadness, dear childers, because in the slight misty haze which all forry, let me tell you, in the ephemeral forry, there's always a fairy control where the misty risey huff there, and so she was completely lost it. Oh, folly, folly. There was a cotty, so she went up, all ready with a basket, and picked up the butter and all that with a little bit of birch. She'd scrape it off and rub it down her clothesy. Mum would be cross, but never mind. On the door. This little cotty had a jar on the door, so she went in. Nobody there. 3 baseload of porry on the tabloid, all slightly steamy huff, and nobody out. She called out, "Anyone home?" Nobody. Folly, folly, and the little hunger was with her, so she follolloped to taste out of the first basel. This was the large base load, and too over-salty for the flame, spitty how. Oh dear. Now the mid-load was a middle flabe, which was not too over-salt, and a sugar flabe on her saliva glam, and it wasn't, of course, quite satisfactual. So she did a tasty most in the little base load there, and it was a joy. And oh, pardlow, as she stuffled it down. Oh dear. Now, this was great, but there was also a little tiredness in the Goldilopers, and she sat on a 3-leber stool, and tock for lolloper, all the lebbers floating across the corm, sat on a bocus there, bruisey most. Well, still there was no one around, though she went tock up the stair loaders, and she found a large bedding, not a K-pack that Ida down, but stuffled with feathers, but here and there a stalk, as you know, was a big feathersy eaglode, and it stuck in her back, and it was most uncomfortable. So she saw the cotty, and in this cot she did lay down, deep sleevers under the eiderdobe. Well, while she was thus sleepy and a deep dream of peaks, then up came the bears into the cotty. Now the father bold bear looking around and say, "Who's been tasting stuff of my porry? Oh dear." And then the mother bear looked in her baseload of porry and said, "Who'll be tasting my porry? Oh, and had a finger." So the small bear came and said, "This is my baseload and follolloping all down, mum. Oh dear, look, it's empty, not scratching on the bottom." And there was a general consternate uproar and complaint about the 3-lebered stool there, all the bits and the floaty, and so they had a look-in around the house loader. Brrr, tock, big bear, brrr, tock, middle bear, brrr, st. They all went up the stair loaders, and soon there was a dent discovery in Mum and Dad's bedding, when the dirty footmark was where she did her trottly over and how, and then into the copse. And the little bear said, "Oh, look at it, Bub! This lame's the Goldilopers." But at this mode, she jumped up in the middle of her deep dream of sleep piecey, out of the windload, slide it and huffaload out of the drain pikers, and through the forry fast a whale. And they all looked such consternation through the windload, they had time to say, "You naughty girlie."